Hello and welcome back to the third. So last left off, Kevin touched down here in Grand Cell, met up with Sid, and has come here to Grand Cell Cathedral to pick up an artifact that is being handed over from Liberl to the Septian Church. So let's see where that goes. Now, I know things seem a little seamless here from part 1 to part 2, but it has been 8 days since I last played this, believe it or not, and I came down with a cold, so sorry if I sound a little off. So that's Archbishop current. And with him is... It's good to see you again, Archbishop. You look very well. Huh? And you must be... I wasn't expecting you to be quite this young. How old are you? It's 22, but... That's a lot younger than I expected. Are the girls really so short-staffed that they're handing out their most important posts to kids? You can't blame me for assuming the 5th Dominion would look like more of a veteran, can you? Your surprise is written all over your face. Someone in your position should have a much better poker face than that. Maybe you need to redo your training from scratch. Or are you just acting, I wonder? How do you... Professor Russell, please. He isn't here for you to try and pick a fight with him. Please try to be a little less deliberately provocative. What? Hell no. He's here to steal the thing we went through so much effort to bring up, and you want me to play nice? And kindly don't call me that ever again. I don't want to be addressed in the same way as that old coot. Of course, ma'am. Wait, Russell? Then are you... I suppose I should introduce myself. I'm Erica Russell. I'm sure it's not a name you're going to be forgetting anytime soon. Yep, that's Tita's mom. Still, I sure didn't expect to run into little Tita's mother here. I had heard you and your husband were both living abroad. What brought you back? What do you think? After all that went down here, there was no way I was staying out of the country any longer than I had to. Though with how remote the region we were in is, it was all over by the time word reached us. Had we found out sooner, I sure wouldn't have let that maniac pull half the crap he did. It doesn't sound like you're too happy with the professor nowadays, huh? Talk about an understatement! That whack job actually took my little girl to that floating city with him. I get that he's soft towards her, but that's no excuse for exposing her to danger. That's fair. And as if that isn't bad enough, he let that red-headed scumbag get near her too. That other cretin isn't fit to be within 50 yards of my darling Tita. Never mind actually getting friendly with her. So, you don't like Agate, huh? Don't you speak that filthy name in front of me ever again. Oh, when I'm finished with him, he'll wish he'd never been born. He might have survived that last onslaught, but we'll see how he fares against an even more powerful unit, won't we? I get the feeling this is a matter we're better off not prying into. I thought the same, so I don't know any more about it than you do. Incidentally, the Professor Russell you're more familiar with is currently vacationing abroad. As such, she has been assisting us with this case in his place. Oh, I see. Are you two listening to me? Of course. Sorry. Well, whatever. This staircase sure is long, though. How much further do we have to go? Not much, as far as I know. Yep, there we go. A dead end? I hope you've got a good explanation for this. I do. This isn't a dead end, but to go any further, I'm going to need you to undertake a ritual of sorts for me. Well, this certainly took a turn for the strange. Is this an example of the church's famous thaumaturgy? Something like that, yes. Specifically, I would like you to undertake a form of suggestion. I'm not sure I follow. You want us to promise not to tell anyone what we see here, right? That's a little extreme, so no. The Colonel is obviously going to need to report what happened here to his superiors, for one thing. All I want you to promise is that you won't tell anyone who you aren't certain you can trust. I don't need you to say it. I just need you to think and believe it. Weird, but alright. If that's all you want us to do, so be it. I feel the same way. Should we deliberately repeat it in our minds then? You don't even need to do that. It should just come completely naturally to you. Alright, here goes. In the name of she who dwells above, do I hold this consecrated septium. Space's golden glow, consciousness silver glow. By your opposing natures, reveal to them the path that leads to your sacrament. What? How did that door appear? Thank you both for your assistance. I can see that you were true to your word. Ah, I see. So if we just said it but didn't really mean it, we wouldn't be able to see anything, right? And yet I can hardly believe what happened. I imagine it would be uncouth of me to ask how all of this works. Yeah, I'd really rather you didn't. Anyway, come on in. Yep, this was underneath Grand Cell Cathedral this whole time. This is what's called a primal ground. Wow! Unbelievable. All these years, I had no idea that such a place lay hidden beneath Grand Cell Cathedral. Well, it's not exactly something we publicize. It was built in accordance with the agreements between the church and the royal family. It has but one purpose: to suppress the power of ancient artifacts and keep their influence in check. I see. Its importance to you Gralsritter is quite clear then. I'd assume there are similar ones in places other than Liberl too. Well, I won't deny it. Anyway, we call this place a primal ground. Now, there's a deep name if I've ever heard one. Is the original ground the others are based on in Arteria? I'll take that as a yes. Oh, I'm not confirming anything. I was just thinking about how much you take after the other Professor Russell's all. I'll thank you not to associate me with him. He might trump me a little on the theoretical side of things, but when it comes to the practical side of orbital science, I could beat him in my sleep. And I was the one who designed the fundamental systems of the Capel and the Arcell, you know. Really? Nice. But I think we're getting off topic here. This is the object in question, right? That's correct. It was pulled up 3 days ago from the area where the Liberl Arc sank, and we believe it to be an artifact. 3 days prior, roughly at the center of Valeria Lake. Where the Liberl Arc sank. There's a Royal Army airship, as well as the Leibniz, that's the ship we boarded on to sneak into Lyson Fortress in first chapter. Damn, sun going down already, huh? If this spot turns out to be a bust, we're probably gonna have to call it quits for today. We can only hope. Professor Russell is certain that this is the area where we should be looking? Yep, and if she says it's here, it's here. Unfortunately, as you know, Valeria Lake's about as deep as a lake can get. Depending on how small the thing we're looking for is, actually finding it could still be a real task and a half. Is it likely to be small though? The orbital reading suggests we're dealing with quite a large object, I believe. Oh, I wouldn't judge its size based off of those. Ah, Professor. Hey there, kiddo. Finished getting us a new estimated location? Just about. It'd be real swell if you knocked it off with a kiddo, though. I'm not sure it's the most appropriate way to address a married woman, much less one who's already popped out a child. Sorry, but old habits die hard, you know? Hard to make the switch when I've been calling you that since you were about knee-high. Well, I'll let you off this time. Back to work. Can you ask your subordinates to stand down for the time being, Colonel? Is this the spot then? Were you able to calculate exactly where the object is? Give or take an arch, yes. Judging by the readings, what we're trying to pull up isn't all that big either. Probably about 50 reg, maybe even less. You serious? Thought we'd be dealing with a real monster, not something the size of Antoine. Meow. Still, If it does turn out to be an artifact, this could get problematic. Unfortunately, the church isn't going to want to let us keep it, that's for sure. I really cannot stand them. No matter how hard you work on getting your hands on something, the second it turns out to be an artifact, they swoop in like it's their goddess-given right to have it. Ticks me off. Easy there. We don't know for sure that it's even an artifact yet. Regardless, I'll pass on the message to my subordinates right away. I'll leave the rest here to you, Gustav. You got it. Let's see what we're dealing with, yeah? I like that they brought Antoine for this. Gotta work him in some way. Okay, that's the spot. Go on ahead. Yes, ma'am. Beginning the salvage operation. That sound just fills me with dread. Does the salvage crane sound like it's in poor condition to you? Oh, that's not really what I meant. I just can't bring myself to like artifacts, you see. We can't explain how they have the power that they do, but they have it, and it's not something we can ignore either. As a researcher, I can barely imagine anything more frustrating. Even when we can't help but be captivated by them, we're well aware that any attempt to solve their mysteries is pointless. I see. When you put it that way, I can understand to a degree how you must feel. Half a year has passed since all the chaos came to an end, and on the surface we're back to normal. But even now, we still don't know what truly happened here or what it signified. Yeah. Not that I was here to see it all happen, of course. The crane's arm reached the bottom of the lake. It's gonna attempt to grip the object. Swing and a miss. Moving 30 reg to the right. Haha, there we go. Yep, we've got it. Want me to pull it up? Please do. The moment of truth, huh? Here we go. Sure looks like an active artifact to me. What? Oh my. I see. Still, looking at it. Correct. There were orbital readings coming from the artifact when we found it, but not anymore. And I'm sure I don't need to spell it out the significance of that, do I? No, it's plain as day why you decided to stay and wait for me now. If an artifact has lost its power, it's exempt from the traditional agreements governing them, and doesn't need to be given to the church. That it? You already understand me so well. We can cut right to the chase then. The orbital readings disappeared just before we handed the artifact over to the cathedral, as so it happens. It's currently being looked after here, but the formal procedures to transfer ownership have yet to be completed, making its legal owner unclear. In your expert opinion, what should be done here? This is a tricky one. I'm assuming Liberl wants to assert ownership of it in this scenario, right? If anything, it's the professor here who wants to do that. I'm merely here accompanying her as the representative of the Royal Army. The only reason it's not lying at the bottom of Valeria Lake right now is because of ZCF's salvage efforts. I'd say we have every right to keep it personally. From what I've heard, it's completely impossible to analyze an artifact that's no longer active. I don't see how it'd be of any use to your research as things stand now. But, are you sure you want it that badly? Oh, absolutely. We're talking about an object found at the site of where a massive flying city used to be. I might not have seen it happen, but it sounds like everything we thought we knew about the world was more or less proven wrong. You know, by the truth that you people in the church have kept hidden for the past, I don't know, 1,000 years. As for that Ouroboros group, they don't make much more sense than you guys. The more I hear about their advances in technology, the less I can work out how it's even possible. I don't know what the truth is or what's really happening here in this land, but I can't stand by and feign disinterest in knowing the answers anymore, and I'm far from alone. So long as there's the slightest chance that artifact could shed a light on all of what I want to know, I want it. I think you've made your point, Professor. It's not as though interrogating him will achieve anything. True enough. Well, you've heard what I've got to say. It's now up to you to tell us what you're going to do. Will you hand over that lump of metal, or won't you? Well, that brief hesitation was all it took to spawn a great evil. Who is she? No way. It crawled through the fields, ran through the hills, and spread disaster in the skies above. An excerpt from Book of Ezra, verse 2, Disaster Unleashed. I apologize for the delay in coming, Father Graham. My name is Ries Argent, and I am a squire of the Gralsfitter. I look forward to working under you. I didn't think we'd end up having more company. Wait a second. Is something the matter? So that's how they think they can get me, is it? But they can't just bribe me so easily. I'm better than that. Maybe I underestimated the Gralsfitter. They think they can break my will to fight by sending a girl like you my way, do they? But I'm not going to go down so easily, because I've got a secret weapon of my own. Behold, the most powerful force in the universe. Isn't that... That's Tita, isn't it? Oh, how cute. Isn't she? Isn't she? I bet you just want to jump into this photo and squeeze her like a stuffed toy right now, don't you? I should have known a cutie patootie like you would be able to appreciate the same qualities in others. Anyway, that's why no matter how frickin' adorable you may happen to be, you can't take me down, because I've got a natural immunity. I beg your pardon, but I'm afraid I'm not really following. You keep saying that someone is cute, but are you referring to me? Who else would I be talking to? You've got such an aura of maturity about you, and yet your features still have that irresistible trace of innocence to them. And then they throw you into a sister's habit to compliment it all like a little cherry on top. That's the most flattering habit I've ever seen. If I didn't have my protective field, I'd be in real danger here. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm just saying. Might I inquire as to the identities of the people with you, Father Graham? Sure. The lady's Professor Erica Russell of ZCF, while the gentleman is Lieutenant Colonel Sid of the Royal Army. Seriously though, Father Graham, really? So you're the people who initially discovered the artifact then. Thank you for your cooperation in our work. We will take over looking after it from here on out. That will be all. Wait a... What? Hold on a minute. We hadn't finished deciding what to do with it yet. Perhaps not, but my intention was to save you the time and effort required to do so by making the correct judgment myself. Whether it has lost its power or not, that is no ordinary artifact. It is potentially related to one of the Septerians. I'm surprised that you even humored the option of letting an outsider take custody of it. I mean... Well, you sure know how to pick a fight. Go on then. What legal basis do you have for taking it from us? The agreements with the church quite clearly say that artifacts that have lost their power are exempt from the usual rules. I have no legal basis, but you have no more of one for keeping it. If we are following the agreement to the letter, no one is allowed to assert ownership of inactive artifacts. It belongs to neither you nor me. It is simply an abandoned object with no owner whatsoever. What? So all you got is, I don't need a reason? It's mine and that's final? To put it bluntly, yes. Well, if that's how you want to play it. What's your take on this, Kevin Graham? Well, by all means. Me? I thought I'd been kicked out of this conversation. But, well, I can't say I don't want to take it back to Arteria with us. But after all the help Liberl's given us, I'd feel kind of bad just snatching it from them without even giving them a valid reason. Both arguments have a degree of merit, but neither is clearly more correct. I'm not quite sure how you'll solve this one. You, do know that you're smack dab in the middle of this too, right? Whoa! My! What is it? Why do you both look so surprised? What do you mean, why? Did the two of you not hear that? Hear what? Wita. Oh. Wow. Oh, no way! That thing wasn't giving off any orbital readings at all anymore. Zero. Zip! Why is it suddenly active again? I believe that settles our dispute. It sure does. So the real artifact was inside, huh? I've never seen one quite like it. It looks like a box of some kind. Or a cube, maybe. Oh! I'd like to thank you two for your cooperation in the recovery of this artifact. In accordance with the practice of the church, I, Kevin Graham, will be assuming custody of it from here on out. You, and all who aided you, have the Septian Church's deepest appreciation. Phew, I thought we were never gonna escape. Erica sure doesn't know when to quit. That's a kind way of putting it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing right at the end, though. Just as I thought she'd max out her crazy talk to spew, she goes and shouts, "Well, if you're going to be taking that, then I'll be taking her." I thought Annalise was a one-of-a-kind cuteness freak, but she might actually have some stiff competition. Annalise? Oh, sorry. She's a girl I met while I was here last time. She's a bracer, or about your age, I think. Oh. Rhys? Yes? You're not mad at me, are you? For not keeping in touch with you. Father Graham? Yes? 5 years is a long time. Just as you have changed and progressed in rank significantly during those years, so have I. The Ries Argent standing before you is a squire the Grosfitter, not the girl you once knew. I'm here to serve and protect you, nothing more. Come on, Rhys. You need not concern yourself with how I feel. If you don't treat me as a subordinate, then there is little reason for me to be here serving you. And with that talk out of the way, we need to board the last international liner out of Grand Cell, don't we? We should start making our way to the landing port. Oh, wait a sec. Was that your... It was a figment of your imagination. Huh? You seem to be tired, Father Graham. I see no other explanation as to why you're hearing sounds that clearly don't exist in reality. I think you ought to try and have some rest when we reach the airship. As I was saying, I think you ought to try and have some rest. Don't even try and tell me that one was my imagination. Man, for a second I thought you changed, but you haven't, not one bit. You're still the same perpetually hungry Rhys I remember. This is just a simple physiological phenomenon. My lack of control is proof that I still have plenty of training ahead of me. I can only apologize for my own inability. Since when did not being able to turn off your stomach become something you have to apologize for? Besides, I wouldn't have you any other way. You're forever gonna be the girl who was always getting caught sneaking into the kitchen and trying to stuff her face to me. I'll be going on ahead. Hey, wait a sec. You're in my way. Please move. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to push my luck. I just got carried away thinking of old times, that's all. You have no reason to apologize. Nor do I see any point in you doing so, because there are few things in this world that carry less weight than one of your apologies. Damn, finally biting back, huh? Well, while I've only got a 50-50 chance of you listening to me, can you knock it off with the Father Graham, or even Father for that matter? For what reason? I don't know if you're doing it because you feel like you have to, or because you want to act all distant. But there's no way I can get used to it, like ever. It weirds me out. So, please, call me Kevin, same as you always did. What if I refuse? Then I'll beg you until you change your mind. I'll get down on my knees if I have to. You certainly would. Well, you know what they say. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. I know it's been a while since, but I'm way too set in my ways now. The one left me. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. It was nothing. Still, I can't very well refuse an order from my superiors, so... Oh no, you're not playing that game. It's not an order, it's a favor. Very important distinction. You're so selfish, Kevin. There we go. That's what I wanted. But just so we're clear, even if I've changed how I address you, the fact that I'm your subordinate hasn't changed in the slightest. Don't forget that. Yeah, I know. We can talk like we used to, but there's no way to turn back the clock to the way things used to be. Oh, and one more thing. We still got some time until the last airship leaves, so how about we head over to the department store in the East Block? We can grab you something to eat. I like the sound of that. I propose buying all the bread they have left. I didn't know you were that hungry. I thought you were joking when you said you were going to buy everything they had left. The girl behind the counter looked like she had thought you were a freak in nature. This is just another example of Helios' divine providence. It's better that they're bought by someone who intends to consume them than to have the poor things be thrown away. Yeah, you're a real bleeding heart, but that much? I hope you're not spending your entire salary on food. I'll have you know that you have nothing to worry about. There are few people in this world who know how to make better use of sales and special offers than I. Well, whatever makes you happy. It's not my business how you blow your mirror at the end of the day. Still, I'll give you that my getup is right up the top of the suspicious charts. I'm pretty sure anyone would be confused if a woman in a sister's habit came wandering into their shop after dark to buy out the leftovers. Oh, stop your grumbling. And it's almost time for us to leave. We should make our way over to the landing port. I'm not sure how much longer my stomach can wait. Yes, ma'am. Is something? Sorry, that stomach of yours is gonna have to wait a little longer. Unforgivable. I don't know who this fiend is, but as long as I don't kill them, I can go as far as I like, right? I sympathize, but you, might want to calm down a little. Still, whoever they are, they're not very good at tailing people. Quite. I doubt they have much experience. They do seem to have undergone some degree of training, however. Yeah. Oh well, sad to say, but we're going to have to skip today's last airship out of here. Do you know of a good place to strike? Oh, I do. I know the perfect place. This is the Grand Cell Seaport. And that's Gilbert. He's back. Where did they go? I saw them enter this area. I'm sure of it. It was you, huh? What? How? How did you discover me? My stealth abilities are the height of perfection. You're just like I remember you. Still way too sure of yourself. Who might he be? Well, he's technically part of Ouroboros. He's about as low ranking as a member as you can get, though. Ah, I see. He does look the part. How dare you! I'll have you know I'm very much on the up. And as far as you, what do you mean he does look the part? You couldn't look more like a nobody if you tried. You're the kind of person who constantly throws himself into things too big to handle and ends up sabotaging himself without anyone lifting a finger. And you refuse to learn from any of your failures, too. What? You haven't lost your touch. I'm impressed how accurately you were able to judge his character after talking to him for like a second. I didn't even need to talk to him. He oozes irrelevance from his every pore. You! Cocky, aren't you? Well, let's see how long that cockiness lasts. How is he able to do that so quickly? A Templar sword. So, that's what you picked, huh? Just like you chose a bowgun as your weapon of choice, I chose a Templar sword for mine. That's all there is to it. Gotcha. Impossible. What did you just do? I don't even know how I got hit. It's a weapon used by the Gralsritter called a Templar sword. The blade's are made up of multiple pieces held together by wires that let the user extend it at will. Anyway, it's time those lips started flapping. What's a wanted criminal like you doing here in Grand Cell? How much of our business do you know? Why should I have to answer to your? You don't know when to give up. Start talking, now. FYI, she's not in a good mood. And, you don't want to make her any madder. It looks like I've only got one option. I'm so sorry, forgive me. I'm only here because I crash landed. I didn't even want to come here. And after I did, I happened to see you two, so I decided to follow you, I swear. Maybe I misjudged him. There might be more to him than meets the eye, in a sense. That's a nice way of putting it. So go on, keep talking. You said you crash landed here. That means there's an Ouroboros airship somewhere near here that you came on, right? No, there isn't. I did crash land, but I wasn't on board an airship. It was on board this! What the? He has an archaism? Haha, not so irrelevant now, am I? Show them what you can do, G Apache. Mow them down. It's a fight. Yeah, so he got his own Apache helicopter archaism. The G Apache. Oh, this is not actually a fight. He's super weak. And we're done here.
I've worked up an appetite.
No! Curse you! Do you have any idea how much I had to go through to earn that? You really are full of surprises, aren't you? I'm impressed, Rhys. You sure know how to get the best out of that thing. Not at all. I've still got a lot to learn. Especially if I want to be half as good as my sister. Still, I'm no different. Kevin, Anyway. I'd wager you're out of tricks now, so... ready to give up and come quietly? If you don't try and cause any more trouble, I'll hand you over to the soldiers here and leave it at that. You were planning to hand me over to the Royal Army? That's your best option. If you really want us to take you back to Arteria instead, that's cool by me. But if you go with that one, I can't guarantee your safety. I'll leave that one to you. Again? What was that? This thing again? It starts glowing so randomly. Maybe it's reacting to something. What is that thing? What are you planning on doing? Nothing to you, don't worry. Shut up for a sec. What is up with this thing? So the time to begin is finally upon us. Huh? What? When did you... It's a pleasure to see you again, Kevin Graham. Traverser of the pathless darkness, repenting of his transgressions with the sin of its stigma forever on his back. Who the hell are you? Kevin! Thus my lord was revived, and the door to Gehenna opened. Come forth offerings, come forth lost lambs, burned to ashes in the ever-blazing flames. What happened? Why did I... Where am I? Hey, Rhys! Rhys, are you okay? What's going on? Kevin? Where are we? Phew, I'm glad you're okay. How are you feeling? Any pain? I feel sick. You do? My stomach's going to implode if it doesn't get any food soon. I'm starting on all that food we bought. Sure, I'd normally be just as down for food as you are, but come on! Is that really what you should be thinking about right now? There's nothing in this world more important or fundamental than eating. But if we must change the subject, I remember a strange man appearing, then that cube glowing white all of a sudden. Then... Yeah, I don't remember any more than that either. But take a look around us. Stone bookcases? Are we inside some kind of ruin? No, wait. What? Welcome to the setting of Trails in the Sky the Third, and why this game is so different than first chapter and second chapter. This is the Hermit's Garden. Yeah, so much for this being an easy assignment. Into the prologue. Save that game. Chapter 1, Phantasma. Ignorant cults, the Canavigarna, the Cosmographica. Oh, here's the Azure Fragments. Whoever manages this library must have some out-of-this-world connections to have gathered this many rare books from all over the place. Whoa, is this a copy of Ishmian Tales? What's a banned book doing here? The guys over at the Congregation for the Sacraments would flip their lid if they saw this thing. And there aren't just old and rare books either. I found one that was published this year. No way. What's it called? It's called Liberlian Cuisine, published by the Liberl News Service. That can't be real. What's that doing here mixed in with all the other stuff? You sure you aren't pulling my leg? Your guess is as good as mine. The photographs of food in it look delicious, however. Oh, I bet they do. There's this girl named Dorothy who works for the LNS, and she's one incredible photographer. Oh yeah, don't know how I forgot, but weren't you hungry? I was, but I finished eating while you were busy looking at the books here. I did save some for you, of course. Handed over an egg salad sandwich. How fast did you eat? Wait, we bought that store's entire bread supply, and this is all that's left? They were perfectly baked, too. The flour used was clearly of high quality, but bread like that can't be made without excellent water either. I think I like Liberl. Well, I can't deny the country's got some great grub to try all around. Let's get off the subject of food already. I know. There's something truly odd about this place. We should have a thorough look around. Yeah. Oh, come to think of it. It's completely stopped glowing now. Might as well be inactive again. I doubt it was a coincidence that it started glowing just before we were sent here. This is no ordinary artifact, that's for sure. Give it to me, Kevin. I'll look after it. Huh? Why? Protecting you is my duty as your squire. As such, I can hardly stand by and let you keep something that possesses such danger on your person. I should be the one to keep it. Wait a minute, Rhys. Give it to me. Look. First, we still don't have any conclusive proof that this cube is the reason we ended up here. Second, despite me being the one who had it up until this point, you're here with me anyway. So unless you plan to take it off me and run as far away from me as possible, who's holding it won't make a damn bit of difference. But still. Sorry, but this time, I'm actually ordering you. You wouldn't disobey an order from your superior, would you? Alright then. But if we find out for sure that it really is dangerous, promise me that you'll get rid of it. That's all I want you to agree to. Alright, promise. Anyway, you up for some exploring? I don't know what's up with this place, but it's time to try and find out. Fine by me. Finally, we have some control. So this place might look a little familiar. I did use this location for 2 videos in the master playlist already. Those being the read-throughs of Carnelia and Gambler Jack. There are a number of rare and valuable books here. For some reason, a copy of Liberlian Cuisine also sits among them. You can't actually read it though. So books will appear in the Hermit's Garden periodically, like every new chapter, I want to say. Alright, let's get a good look at this place, because we're floating in space or something. It's not quite clear where we are. How are we breathing? Don't worry about it. Huh? What's that? Well, this is foreboding. Doesn't look to be a relic of the ancient Sumerian civilization, though. I agree. As far as I can tell, it's not any kind of device, simply a stone monument. Oh, there's something written near the bottom. Huh? So there is. Let's see. The Hermit's Garden. What is this supposed to mean? I'm not sure. It could be a message, or maybe even... Actually, let me look it over some more before I say anything. Nope, can't find any hidden switches or the like anywhere. You were right, it really is just a stone monument. Shall we try destroying it and see if anything happens then? I get first hit. Wait, no way. Just because we've established it isn't any kind of device doesn't mean nothing bad will happen if we go smashing it to bits. Don't worry, I was joking. You so weren't. Anyway, Let's save extreme options like that until after we've explored all of our more reasonable ones. I say we should go and look around somewhere else. Okay. Alright, let's try over here. Take a little right turn, and up here is... What's this? I'm not sure. I'll take a closer look. Found the solar seal, lunar seal, and a bunch of sepith. Huh? Who dumped all this sepith on the ground? Well, whatever. Don't think anyone will complain if we take it. Don't tell me you're feeling disappointed it wasn't food. You're incredible. I didn't know you knew how to read people's minds with your thaumaturgy. Was that part of your Dominion training? Sure wasn't. All I needed was to know was you. Alright, so that's actually your bonus for completing second chapter. That's your carryover bonus. I think how much you get depends on like what your final level with maybe just Estelle is. Maybe Estelle and Joshua. I can't remember. Well, this is nice. Looks like some kind of rest area or something. But why? What's it doing here? Well, resting is important. I'd love to sit and enjoy a relaxing lunch here. Well, I'll give you that it might be kind of nice. Although personally, my first thought was that I'd love to sit and fish here. If there were any fish to be fished. Really? I didn't know you still liked fishing. Sure, can't say I've gotten any better at it, but a hobby's a hobby. I was surprised at how many fishing fanatics there are over in Liberl. There's a guild in Grand Cell that's really hardcore into it, and one girl I ran into would give most pros a run for their money. Oh. Something wrong? It's nothing. Regardless, it's a shame that there are no fish in it. The water here is exceptionally clear. I think this should suffice as a water source for us at least. Yeah. Alright, let's go check somewhere else. Alright, at least we have clean water. In our space garden here, whatever this place is. Let's try this path. Over here we've got a nice big tree. What's a huge tree doing here? There's no signs of any others in the surrounding area either. As big as it is, it doesn't seem to be a fruit tree, unfortunately. Figures we wouldn't get that lucky. Come to think of it though, you were always an expert on plants and medicinal herbs and stuff, right? You don't recognize what kind of tree this is? I wish I did, but no. At the very least, it isn't one that grows on the western side of the continent. Did you work something out? Maybe, maybe not. We should try looking somewhere else now. Oh, right. Still, even if it doesn't bear fruit, maybe it has sweet sap inside like maple trees. May I cut into the trunk a bit to see? No, you cannot. Alright, down here are some other bookshelves, and can't remember if books appear on those or not. Get yourself another little rest area here. Look at those floating books out in space, though. What's on those books? It's actually really disappointing that you can't read those books that Kevin was talking about in the scene. I'm like, I kind of forgot what those were called. But none of them, as far as I know, are readable. None of those are like actual Trails readable books. Oh, as far out as the eye can see. Space! Just where are we? Beats me. Still, wherever we are, it's big. Judging by how our voices don't echo anyway. Yeah. Alright, I think I need to, like, leave one screen, and then I think if we go back to the middle, something will trigger. Let's make sure we didn't miss anything over here. This is where we woke up, and I don't think there's anything to interact with besides that one cuisine book in the middle shelf. Yeah, there's nothing else here. So I think we should get stopped if we go back towards the stone monument. Well, we've investigated the whole area now, but we didn't really find anything that would give us any idea as to where we are. Maybe not specifically. I think I may have an idea what kind of place this is, though. Really? It's a place both within Liberl and not at the same time. Like a separate dimension of sorts. Can you elaborate? Well, you see, during all the trouble with the Ariel, Kevin explained about the altered spaces hidden within the Tetrasilic Towers, intended to seal the Ariel away. Wow! So you think the place we're in may be similar? Can't say for sure, but it's definitely a possibility. There are a few cracks in my theory, unfortunately. Oh, I think I understand what you mean. The Liberlian cuisine book we found earlier is one, right? Exactly. If we assume this is some kind of enclosed space sealed away within the Ariel all those years ago, how did a book that was only published this year get in here? All the other unusual books are from after the Great Collapse too. Which means someone else has been going in and out of here within the past year? Could it be that man in black we met at the port? Maybe, maybe not. I wouldn't peg him as the kind of guy who'd want to read about Liberlian cuisine though. That's very true. Either way, I think we can say for sure now that this situation we're in was planned out by someone. Possibly before that cube even came into our possession. You really think so? But if that really is the case, what should we do now? There's the million mirror question. We don't have much to work with here, just a big open area with no way out. Oh, this again? What just happened? I don't know. I'd wager it was this cube's doing. Guess we can add altering this area to the list of quirks along with wrecking our courts. Are you sure it's a good idea to keep it on you? Honestly, I get the feeling we'd be shit out of luck without it. At least we've now got some new stuff to investigate that could lead us in the right direction. We should go and check all the places that have changed. Alright. I just noticed a very strange line in that conversation. Kevin said wrecking our courts. I think some of the dialogue has been changed for New Game Plus. And I want to say in New Game when you get here, Kevin and Ries note that the courts they start the game with maybe are changed or something, or like you lose them upon entering here. But because I'm in New Game Plus, yeah, so well, Kevin's completely unequipped. Oh, or no, I did that, my bad. But that's okay, because I have, wait. No, I can't load this file yet. I have a file that I've prepared that'll have all of our stuff on it, but it's after we do this part. Okay, we should start off with the monument, but we also have to go back to all the other areas we've already been. I could understand if it were an artifact or an ornament, But how did a lump of stone start glowing like this? It's like magic. Now, there's an apt enough description if I've ever heard one. Only thing I can add to that is that the laws of this world as we know them don't seem to apply to it. Rhys. Huh? That was a voice, wasn't it? Raise the cube before the monument. Who's there? Who are you? Please. What are you going to do? To hell with it. Not like we've got any better options. Visitors from afar. This again. This voice is different, though. How am I supposed to know? Cut me some slack. Welcome. In accordance with my master's wishes, I shall grant you power. Huh? Name your currency, so that we may transact within the system that you know. No, wait a second. What do you mean by currency? Maybe it's going to sell us things in exchange for Mira. Oh, I getcha. Understood. And I shall grant you power in exchange for that currency. And it's a shop now. It's just that simple. It's an RPG shop. Release my brethren, then we shall grant you good fortune. What do you think that was about? How would I know? Bizarre as it is to say, we should be able to buy things from Mira and use Sepith to synthesize quartz here. Pretty useful, nothing else. We do still have the Sepith that was left over when our quartz were shattered. Perhaps we should use those to synthesize some new ones. Sounds like a plan to me. We can stand on our own 2 feet just fine, but we're gonna need recovery yards if we ever find ourselves in a jam. Alright. So, we have to revisit the areas that we've been to before, and yeah, this thing can restore HP. You can buy new weapons and armor. Tools are, oh, they're just consumables. And of course you can synthesize quartz, sell quartz off. But yeah, I completely forgot about that bit, so I guess they removed that in the New Game Plus conversations, because it's not true. Normally in New Game, because like you remember at the start of the 2nd chapter, they kind of explain away like, well, your old quartz that you had from the last game are no good, because now there are new battle ornaments. Well, in this one, they're like, well, when you came to this world, all your old ones shattered, and you can't use the ones you had in 2nd chapter. But because of New Game Plus carryover, I have all the good stuff that's from this game, so I'll be able to use that very shortly. Alright, when we pick up next time, we continue exploring the Hermit's Garden, and then we will finally get a sense of what gameplay in Trails in the Sky the Third is actually like. See you guys in the next one.